Do-da-do-da-do-da.
Lucky's tastes better.
Cleaner, fresher, smoother.
Lucky's tastes better.
Cleaner, fresher, smoother. For Lucky Strike means fine tobacco, richer tasting fine tobacco.
Lucky's tastes better.
Cleaner, fresher, smoother. Lucky Strike, Lucky Strike.
Everybody knows LSMFT. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. So remember,
Lucky's tastes better.
Cleaner, fresher, smoother.
Lucky's tastes better.
Cleaner, fresher, smoother. Lucky Strike, Lucky Strike.
Totino's, hot pizza rolls. Totino's, everybody's talking about Totino's, hot pizza rolls.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
TBS, America's #1 independent television network, presents the following sports exclusive.
You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And check out every episode of the show at basicallysports.tumblr.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg, Mike.
And this is Andy, and you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
So, boys, how you spending that sweet Lucky Strike sponsorship money right now?
You know.
We're sparking one up right now.
I gotta say, old cigarette commercials are a hoot. I got it.
So tell us, Andy, how smooth is the taste?
Hey, just a reminder, Bass listeners, LSMFT, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. I was thinking about this as that was playing. I thought, I wonder if we can get in trouble for this because clearly it's satire. Obviously,
it's clear nobody's making any money off of it, so it's fine.
Not only that, but I really doubt Lucky Strike, if they were going to sponsor us, to come up with a commercial from 1954 to do it. But
I don't know. That might be the last time they were relevant. That might be all they got. But
Archive.org is just loaded with Lucky Strike commercials. They're hilarious. They're just really something.
One of the great websites of our time.
Archive.org. And then I found the Totino's Pizza song, which it sticks in your head pretty quick.
I thought for a moment like that was like some recording like a kid had done of it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Oh, okay. So that's not actually a real jingle.
No, it should be because it's.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. It should be.
But
okay.
No, it's not. No, it's not. So that, folks, is what it would sound like if we had our two sponsors that we really want to have on the show.
Well, I would be proud to represent that.
We would continue on with Lucky Strike until we all had emphysema and couldn't talk anymore because of the oxygen mask we had to wear all the time.
It would certainly be more interesting than like what is it like? What are the usual podcast sponsorships?
Oh, like Blue Apron, Loot Box, that kind of stuff.
I've heard everything from
the pubic hair trimmers.
Yes,
the Manscaper.
Yeah,
like soap that makes your balls smell better. It's just I give me Lucky Strike over that shit.
No, I will say this is not a paid sponsorship. My brother's podcast is sponsored by Manscaped.
Really?
And he got hooked up with a shitload of Manscaped stuff. And I have the lawnmower, and I will say, excellent product. That said, it's not sponsored by us, so go out and buy some cigarettes.
Go buy Lucky Strike cigarettes. 4 out of 5 doctors recommend.
Exactly. And while you're out, get some Totino's pizza rolls and you can smoke a fine Lucky after you've had.
Because we're all about the healthy living here on Basically. I remember I made a joke once about pizza rolls and all of you and Zach acted like I just shot the Pope.
You basically had at that point, right?
Well, Greg, do you smoke or did you used to smoke?
I do, but not Lucky's and not nearly as much as the people in these commercials do.
I smoked cigarettes for a period of time when I was in college and drunk, and it was very rare.
That's where I got started too.
I smoked a lot in university, but I haven't in years and years. So
No, it's something that well, first off, it's really expensive now, and
Jesus.
And
yeah, they're really making it hard on the poor
on
the poor
idiots
smoker.
like me.
Yeah,
But, you know, I do. I've wanted to quit for a while now. Well, I'm not going to get too deep into this, but I remember when I had my heart attack, I said it would take a special kind of idiot to start smoking again and eating unhealthy again after this. And well, here I am. I am that special kind of idiot. So
he's got his Lucky Stripes and his Tortilla
No.
pizza rolls ready to go. And
I actually, it's funny you bring that up, Andy, because I've been working on quitting for about 2 months now, but it's
hard.
It's a slow. Well, I'm one. I couldn't do cold turkey. I would end up taking hostages, and I'd be on the news, and it would just be a disaster. So I'm doing the what they call it, the step down program, basically. And hopefully that will work. But it's a horrible look. I'm not endorsing it. It's a horrible, fucking, disgusting habit, and I'm a moron for doing it. But I'm going to be upfront about it too.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing necessarily to be ashamed of. It's just
I'm a little ashamed of it, especially if you saw what I spent on it. I'm really ashamed of it at that point.
No, I have a couple friends who used to be, and a coworker who used to be just religious smokers, like hardcore smokers. And to their credit, I mean, but it's multiple times where they've quit and scale back, quit, scale back, and it's a pain in the ass. But
it's really, really difficult to do. I mean, I would be the first. I would not. Anybody that tried and couldn't do it, I'm not going to say a word because it's really tough, really tough.
How was the speaking of difficult? How was the commute, Zach? Now that you're here,
it was easy. Little slow down at one point, but pretty smooth drive home. Just
you missed our new open, Zach. We had a nice Lucky Strike commercial followed by Totino's pizza rolls.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it was our first
smooth?
day fully back at the office today, so I lost track of the clock, and then I needed to hustle out of there. So that's
no worries. What number base is this, Greg?
554. Yep,
that's the one.
Nice. Somebody needs to explain to me, and I'm guessing Zach and Mike could do this. I've seen a lot of. I'm guessing it's soccer things are happening right now.
There's several tournaments going on right now, but
I'm a little offended that you think I couldn't explain this.
I'm
kidding.
The big two are the Euros, the Euro Championships, and then Copa America, which is the South American Championships.
Okay.
All I know is that Canada beat Haiti, so on an own goal. So
right, that was in the World Cup qualifying round.
Was that the light goal that Canada scored?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. That was really, really great.
Yes, the rest of World Cup qualifying for the octagonal, as it now is called, will start in September.
The octagonal.
Well, North America used to do a hexagonal, which was it's six teams, and now they've upped it to 8 teams. So now it's an octagonal.
Well, this is fascinating, but I want to talk about the accident at the Tour de France.
Well, before we do that, did you have any other questions about the soccer?
No, it's one of those things to where there's clearly a sporting event happening according to Twitter, but nobody's posting any videos of it. They're just shouting countries and names. And
today was a huge day at the Euros because France, who's the reigning World Cup champions, they lost to Switzerland of all damn teams in a penalty kick shootout, and then. Did Croatia end up beating Spain? I know that was a crazy one. No, Spain ended up outlasting Croatia, but Spain almost went down to Croatia. So huge fun day at the Euros.
Yeah.
Okay. Go England.
Cool.
Yeah, England plays Germany tomorrow at noon Eastern. That'll be a big one.
Go soccer workforce.
Portugal went down. And like the big match of the next round is going to be Belgium and Italy. The winner of that will likely make the final.
Oh, you just got to throw the record books out when those two play.
Belgium and Italy.
Yeah,
who's going to win, pasta or the waffles?
Wow, that's a tough call. Now that
is rough.
Yeah. You can do a lot more with pasta than you can with waffles, but man, waffles are really good.
Man, chicken and waffles is one of the great American inventions.
I've never tried that.
Oh my God.
Oh,
good chicken and waffles. I mean, you do get diabetes immediately after eating, but it is worth it. Like it's one of those things to where the concept sounds tasty and the imagery looks a little unusual, but I had it when I had it for the first time immediately. It was like something like a light switch clicked to where I suddenly realized my life had been a lie up to that point. How had I not consumed chicken and waffles up to this point? And it was just from a kind of a crappy place. So I'm raring to like go somewhere that actually makes like real shit chicken and waffles.
See, here's the thing. I'm kind of in the same boat. I really like chicken and waffles, but I've only ever had them from IHOP.
Well, you should have some down in Florida. I imagine there's a pretty.
Oh yeah, no. There's lots of places. I just haven't gone around to going to any of them. But the one time I've had them were at IHOP, and they were good. And I would wager that IHOP chicken and waffles are just awful. Like so if I liked them, then like the really good chicken and waffles must really be awesome.
Yeah. See, I don't know if any chicken and waffle can be flat out awful, but. I mean, out here we have one of the legendary ones, Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, which is, I mean, it's Snoop Dogg's like haunt in Long Beach, and now they've expanded it to a couple.
With the munchies that dude gets, that's as good an endorsement as you're ever going to find.
I mean, there's always a line out the door. Like, if you do come to Southern California ever, and you want chicken and waffles for whatever reason, or even if you don't, go out of your way and get the Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. It's damn
I have a question on this. Now, do you put is it like breakfast? Like, do you put syrup on them? And
sure.
That does sound pretty good. I got to say.
Yeah, it's sweet and savory and crunchy and it's.
How did my hillbilly ass miss out on these things for all these years? I don't get it.
That's all right. They say it's one of those things to where if you're on a nice extended trip on the bike, just look for a Waffle House or something. I'm sure there's places that do it.
Oh, I do love the Waffle House. Worst food you've ever eaten in your life, man. Oh man.
So I've got to ask, where does Waffle House exist vis-a-vis IHOP?
I think that Waffle House is more of a it's more of an off the interstate type of institution.
Right. Mm-hmm.
IHOP is much more of a traditional. You'll find it wherever the just general other restaurants, like where you'll find a like Red Robin. You'll find an IHOP.
Oh, I've been to a Red Robin. I did not enjoy that situation.
That's what I mean. They're kind of.
I didn't like it either.
It's like a next. You know what I mean? It's like an Applebee's where they're like step 2 food.
Okay. I say this, and I absolutely despise Applebee's. I think Applebee's might be better than Red Robin.
I think it is without question.
And I hate Applebee's, but if I had to choose.
I'd go to a Red Robin before I go to an Applebee's.
Not me. I'm with Mike. I'm
decent burgers.
Totally underwhelmed. Waffle House is boy. How can you describe Waffle House?
It's like the greasiest of greasy spoons for truck drivers, right?
Yeah. Well, not even that. Not really, because you can't really get a truck into most of them. It's too small. Not inside the building, but in the parking lot. I mean that's my dad was a truck driver, and one of the most quoted and untrue things you'll ever hear is go where the truckers go because that's where the good food is. No, that where they go where they can park. That's where they go. Not the food isn't necessarily good. They go where they can park. But anyway,
first of all, I'm being robbed right now because I'm sure Zach is muting his mic because the garbage trucks are there.
Yeah, what time does that usually happen, Zach? We got to come up with a bit for that.
I'm muting my mic because I'm eating.
Oh, damn it. I thought that maybe the garbage trucks were there. It's one of my favorite unintentional bits of the show now. I expect to hear the random audible clanking and crashing.
No, trust me, the cans are over full today.
Oh boy.
So you're probably going to get extra noise because not only are you going to have to dump it, but they're going to have to like clean up the shit that falls out the side. Today's not going to be a good day for the garbage truck. Like,
this will be a good day for us.
There are 4 dumpsters out in front of my apartment window here.
We really need a song and a whole little setup for that thing when that happens.
It's like
3 of them that they can't close because of the trash.
That's like it's like that thing where you're vacuuming and then you hear it like suck up something real gritty and it's like, oh yeah. Like it's sad that this is what my life has come to. That I'm driving home today and I'm like, God, I hope I hear the trash cans tonight on the show.
No, trust me, it's only what is it? It's usually about 5 when they hit, right?
Okay. So we're looking at about 45 minutes. So stay tuned, folks, for the trash cans. They'll be here.
They'll be here. I was just muting from the crunching of the Cheez-It.
No, it's all good.
For the audience.
The Waffle House is a great place to see a crime. If you haven't seen a crime before, you can go to Waffle House to see. Usually, there's a fight, an argument. It's kind of bar-like in that regard. But if you're anywhere in the Bible Belt, typically you'll drive in on the interstate. Just look for the like blocky yellow text Waffle House.
Oh yeah,
and you'll see a bunch of dudes sitting at the counter drinking coffee and
eating
breakfast.
$5 breakfasts. I love Waffle House. I really do. Their hash browns are incredible.
It's really good. It's one of those places that I feel like should have been exempt whenever they outlawed indoor smoking.
Just go like, no, it's part of the culture.
You know, a funny thing about Waffle House, believe it or not, is that they are a disaster indicator. Like if Waffle House closes, we are completely and hopelessly fucked.
Yeah, I think that's. I heard people say that when Waffle House closed for COVID, like about a year ago, like a little over a year ago, when all the COVID stuff really started to go down, people were like, "Oh shit!" Like
it's like the canary in the coal mine kind of thing.
Waffle House, okay, it's serious.
Yeah, I've heard that like in Florida, they don't consider it a serious hurricane if Waffle House is still open. Like it's like that's the indicator. Like if Waffle House closes, get your ass out of town. And it's crazy, but they are open all the time. I must have seen, I don't know, 8,000 of them between here and Florida when I came back, and I stopped at probably 7,000.
All I know is that there is a Waffle. So there's a pizza place in town that is open till 4 a.m. And if I don't have anywhere to be the next day, my sleep schedule gets all out of whack. And, there have been times where I have been up and it's like, I need something to eat, but this is the only place that's open. Anyway, point is that as I'm kind of driving out to the sticks to this pizza place, there is this Waffle House that I always pass. And I have passed this place at 3:30 in the morning and it has been like full.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, the only time I've ever been to a Waffle House in my entire life.
Look like
New Year's
near the front.
Was New Year's Day, several years ago when I was at Arizona State. Now, like as I'm looking at the Waffle House map, there was maybe like 7 of these things west of San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah.
And up, but Phoenix, Arizona or Tempe, Arizona has one of them. And yeah, I can attest it's good for the night after a drunken night about.
If you're in a hurry and you don't want to spend a lot of money, you can't really do any better. They're cheap, they're fast,
and you want something greasy that's going to soak up every toxin in your body.
Right, exactly.
We'll do it.
I will say this though, and on the long odds that any of you listening or any of you guys are ever driving from the south through West Virginia, the one thing you don't want to do is stop at the Waffle House right across the border from West Virginia, eat a big breakfast, and then drive through West Virginia. Because there are only about, 74,000 curves going up and down hills in West Virginia. And I got about 20 minutes in. I'm like, oh my God. I felt like I was on a boat. And you don't want to eat Waffle House going on a boat either, but you get the idea. It was, So I'll never do that again. But anyway, I think the closest one to me is in Bowling Green, which is about 45 minutes west of here. Not a lot of them in Ohio. There's a few, but not very many. Yeah. But there you go. So they should be a sponsor too. I want Waffle House as a sponsor now.
Speaking of dangerous transportation, this would be a nice little segue into what you wanted to talk about, Greg. The one of the weirdest events in sport that I've seen in quite a while. So I didn't see it live. I don't give a shit about bike racing or any of this, this nonsense.
Nor should anyone else.
Yeah, true. But it's
if Americans aren't infusing their blood with oxygen to win, why are we paying attention to the Tour de France?
Well, it's
do we have the video? Can we see it again?
Yeah, I've got there's 2 videos, namely. I'll go ahead and
because there was a second crash later in the day, wasn't there?
I only have video of the initial moment. The
man
one
with the sign. Yeah.
Well, it's a woman with a sign and
person.
All right, Greg, I don't know if you can pull it up there. There we go. Okay, so here's the initial controversy. So what you're looking for is here on the left side, their right. They believe it's a woman from Germany, and I think what she does is she steps out to get a picture, like somebody's taking a picture with a cell phone of her in front of the group, and disaster. I'll mute the guy here, but because you can see she's posing here, like somebody across the way is like,
oh, you've paused it at the right moment. Everyone's so naive about what's going to happen. Look at that. She's smart. Oh no!
So just flimsy cardboard sign. She clearly has no idea it's about to happen. Guy falls.
Thousands of bikes are coming right to her direction.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And now look at this. This is why helmets are important. So he gets
okay, kids. So this is why you wear your helmet. And
So then what resulted was this. You can kind of it's a different angle.
Yeah, the aerial shot is better.
Yeah, because you can see the total carnage. Now watch the ripple effect here. All these poor bastards get just.
Oh.
It's not supposed to be funny, but that's funny.
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone was seriously hurt or anything like that. But the Tour de France is absolutely like they're like calling in Liam Neeson to find this woman because
did
apparently
she flee the country?
She got on a plane, and I guess they haven't been able to find her. They don't know where she is. She is on the lam. And they're suing her for like a couple $1 million if they can find out who she is.
Oh, come on. Really?
Wow. I'll see if I can find that. I thought that was the case, but let's see.
Bunch of buzzkills. That was funny. That was like the most interesting thing that's going to happen this whole damn race.
Yeah. So this is from the Tour de France officials. We are suing this woman who behaved so badly. This is the event's deputy director, Pierre-Yves Stalt, who I think plays for Montreal, actually. We are doing this so the tiny minority of people who do this don't spoil the show for everyone.
I don't. Maybe I don't get it, but it's a bunch of dudes riding by on 10 speeds. What show is there to ruin?
Well, so here's the thing.
It is a great race. It's a race of great tradition and whatever.
Yeah, but it's
going on for hundreds of years.
I get all that. I'm just saying that will be the most interesting thing that happens this entire race. I promise, unless it happens again.
To you and to me and to all of us,
the entire audience.
Well, right. Like I said, Americans shouldn't care unless we're sending over our best doped up athletes to compete. But like, it's one of those things that like Europe is very big into, and the cycling community will tell you all the intricacies of it. I don't particularly care, but there are people that take this very seriously.
I mean, with the Lance Armstrong thing, I don't know how that went over in Europe. I can't imagine very well.
Oh, they hated him already because he was an American who was winning at a predominantly European thing.
Right.
And then when it came out that he was doping, they were not happy.
No. Well, it didn't help that he was like, playing this whole narrative of, I survived cancer and my story is an incredible one, and live strong, hashtag whatever, and then I use steroids.
Now, and I'm sure this is a thing of like, it is part of like the French tradition because it's like the people's race and they can interact with the community because they're just riding the bikes through these villages and whatever. But from the Twitter feed of a friend of the show, Sean McCarthy, aka Sport. Hey France, how about setting about some kind of fence for your little bicycle race? Which, not wrong.
Yeah,
but you're gonna have a professional. Like they don't just let when they run the F1 race through the streets of Monaco. They don't just like
the side of the road.
Right, they don't just like keep the street lights on. Like they put up a wall.
That would be hilarious, actually.
Yeah, they put up a wall that says, "Hey, don't go over this fence, please."
But Zach, if they did that, then it wouldn't be the people's race anymore, would it?
Right.
I am totally down for an F1 race so they just stand alongside the road like that.
No, I like the idea. I like what Zach said. Like, I want to see the F1 race in Monaco with the traffic lights on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Stop at the light?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that would be really, really cool. Come on. That would be awesome. How do you determine though if they went through the yellow? Like what's the cutoff point? We go, okay, that's it. No, you ran the light.
Well, I mean, you would have to have Monaco police on hand, right? And then they would chase down anyone who, in their judgment, violated a red light.
That would be great.
Well,
the cars they can chase them.
The real culprit here, the real group to blame for this, embarrassing moment for the sport is the elderly, because the sign that she was holding for the photograph, it said like "Hi, Grandma and Grandpa," and she had to make it
Grandma,
huge.
Grandpa.
Yeah,
Go
something
Grandma.
like that. I think she had to make it huge so they could read it. So if she had a smaller sign, she probably wouldn't have hit Tony Curtis and caused the crash. I don't know if it's Tony Curtis is, I think, an actor. I don't know if that's
Yeah, he is. Which makes it even better if it was actually him,
because he's dead. I assume he's dead.
Right? Yeah.
Dead man wins. If you're dead, you don't win a bicycle race. I'd be, anyway. Yeah. So come on, old grandma and grandpa. They're probably out there just, running for your life. They're probably arranging like smuggling operations throughout Europe to get their granddaughter into Prague or something. And
yeah, I wonder where she
the
went.
British embassy in Prague, so she can be extradited.
Imagine that a sporting event is that important to these people that you've got to leave the country and go into hiding.
Well,
I know. Didn't that happen to what's his face in Chicago?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that was different. So somebody was saying that her sunglasses probably salvaged her identity from being released. Like, I guess unless somebody in her family or a close-knit circle of friends like betrays her name to the media, they have no fucking clue who it is. All they know is that they kind of know what she looks like, and they know that she had a sign about her, like about her grandparents. But that's it. They haven't gotten anything else.
You don't need to buy like a ticket to this thing. You just walk up to the road and walk.
Who's there?
Exactly. Yeah. That's there's no fences. Who's gonna stop you?
It was just. I mean, that was. I don't know how many bikes wrecked there, but it was a shitload. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, hundreds. Yeah. Do they still do the running of the bulls?
Yeah, but
okay.
They have changed it to make it safer.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
What a fucking welfare nanny state, liberals ruining the fun for everyone.
Well, I feel like bullfighting is still a very real and brutal.
Oh, it's horrible
event. It's a very animal cruelty.
Yeah.
The running the bulls feels like the bulls
like
deserves. It balances the scales a little bit, and a life for a life, and let these drunken oafs get murdered by pissed off bulls. Like that's just nature,
I have with taking the fences away from the F1. I've got no problem with the running of the bulls. Let it just go, and Darwinism and real time. That's what I'm thinking here with that. But yeah,
no, I just got a great idea to save F1 or NASCAR. If the ratings go down, what you do is in the middle of the course, you randomly have a ramp pop up. So there'll be like a shitload of cars all gathered together. Then one of them will just hit the ramp and those go fucking flying. And that would be, I mean, people would watch just for the ramp.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's kind of like, I'm fucking full of good ideas.
Is this like the gorilla in the NFL?
Yeah.
Warning.
Good idea. Yeah.
Well,
okay.
My idea for the NFL was a sniper. So occasionally there's just somebody that just shoots. There's an explosion of turf on the field that scares the shit out of everybody, and just to keep people on their toes. You
won't be taking any plays off now, Randy Moss.
But anyway,
wow.
Yeah. So I mean, what we got?
But just again, a great argument for making us commissioners of all sports. Look at how much more fun they would be. You know what? Take the fences on a NASCAR too. Fuck it. Let's just make it a free.
And then, hell, if we were commissioners of all sports, this woman wouldn't need to flee France. She.
Oh hell no.
No.
She'd be a hero.
Yeah.
I mean, in NASCAR, you have all that space on the inside of the track that's full of trailers and people and shit hanging out. You should have a second, smaller racetrack in there, and have like a buggy race or something random in there.
Sure.
So less the two racing parties should meet.
Vespa race.
Sure. Oh, dude. Yeah. I mean, that would result in a lot of fatalities. Like that's not whether that's a good or a bad thing. I'm not one to say, but it would be great television.
Welcome to the Vespa 500. Yeah.
Maybe people on pogo sticks having a race, just trying to pogo stick around in a circle. Or like a penny farthing, just trying to
a power wheel.
Oh yeah, that would be. But that's we need to find. That's
those little the kids cars that are made out of plastic that they operate like the Flintstones. with their feet.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, like that.
All while the NASCAR race is going around on the outside. And here's the fun part: the people that are in the miniature race have to race down pit road at all times. That way, when the cars come to pit, you best time it right, or you're in trouble. I like it. I think we can go with that.
You could require all NASCAR drivers to be colorblind, so the flags nobody really knows. They only know when it's over, you know. So we have game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final tonight.
Yep.
We can mix that up.
Let me see.
Skating chimps on the ice, and chimps can skate, so we could do it.
So, if you'd like to know what the scene is like there in Tampa, I know, Mike, you're on the scene.
Oh yeah.
Here's a picture from inside the arena.
Let's take a look here. Oh no, that's a great shirt. For our viewing audience here.
That's about right for Florida.
Oh my God.
Is he aware that Patrick Waugh is not playing for the Montreal Canadiens presently?
Well, I think this is all a misunderstanding. I don't think he probably knows a guy named Roy.
Probably not wrong. I do wonder because Mike, there's plenty of retirees down in that area.
Yeah.
And if you're from Canada and you just hate the Canadians, and you're like, I'm going to be a Tampa Bay season ticket holder, and now all of a sudden you're playing Montreal in the Cup final. It's like my worlds have collided. This is the perfect time. I've been waiting 28 years to wear the shirt again.
To wear the
is he using a walker?
Yeah,
Swallows.
Shuffling along there.
It's
Why?
Well, no, it's actually funny. You mentioned worlds are colliding. My uncle who lives down here, his worlds are colliding. He's from Montreal, and he's a season ticket holder for the Lightning. So,
well, that worked out pretty well for him, don't you think?
Yeah. We had in Anaheim, we have a lot of the same thing. We're like all the years that we were playing Detroit in the playoffs, and like there were guys that sat next to us that I know were Red Wings fans, but they were Ducks fans for every game that the Red Wings weren't in town. So it always turns you the wrong way when you're like, son of a bitch, really? At our moment of triumph, you pull this?
Like,
yeah, well.
I see where loyalties really do lie, huh?
Yeah.
But no, it's well, no. So I asked him who you're rooting for, and his response was it boiled down to I don't know / I'll be happy either way.
You just hope both teams have fun. That kind of thing.
Yeah, but if this goes 7, I'm gonna make it a point to like I'm gonna make it a point to be there. Like I don't if he's at the game, I'm gonna try to be at the game. If he's watching at his place, I'm gonna try. And I just want to watch him, like just to be like I want to see how you're reacting to everything because I need to know.
just stare him straight in the eyes and just say choose.
I think it'd be Montreal, right?
Pardon?
It's got to be Montreal when it's all said and done, right?
I think it would have to be Montreal, but who knows?
Just won. Like, yeah, Montreal has 24 of them, but Tampa just won.
Not only that,
if you're a true Blue Habs fan, you've been waiting 28 years for this team to finally somehow fall backwards all the way down a flight of stairs,
which is what this team did.
Right. So
this isn't like 93 where the Canadians were a world beater and they just, went to the finals because they were the best team. No, like this is a team that is mediocre at best. And
in a regular season, again, like the schedule wasn't the same, so the stats are hard to say how exactly they would have played out. But if you took what would amount to the Eastern and Western conferences and you stacked their records up as you would 1 through 8, this Canadiens team would be 2 spots shy of a playoff spot.
And here they are.
And yet,
I was reading this article on The Ringer today. I mean, I knew that the Canadiens weren't like a top seed or anything, but I had no idea. If you take their record and count the overtime losses and all that, they're actually 8 games under 500.
Right.
Which first this is the one that got me. For them to win more games than they lose this year, they have to win the cup. That's the only way they can do it.
The thing about it, on one hand, it makes me feel slightly better about the Leafs. Just
sure, yeah.
Because it's like, if the Leafs
lost
go,
the team that made the final,
well, no, it's like one of those things where it's like if the Leaf, if the Habs go into Winnipeg and get swept, it's like then I'm pissed. But it's like, no, like they didn't just beat Winnipeg, and then you could say, oh well, maybe the Canadian teams are all just really bad. But then no, they beat Vegas in 6 games, who everybody was saying, everyone had them pegged as a cup favorite. They were tied in points.
That was a team that shit the bed.
Yeah, like the Golden Knights were a team that people had pegged to go to the finals. They tied the Avalanche for points in the end of the year for most points in the league.
Yeah,
and then
beat
the Canadians beat them. So it's like my heart. And in terms of my heart, I want the meteor to destroy the stadium and just, but it like in terms of like my head, like, okay, who's going to win this thing? It's like, well, Tampa's the stronger team, but like Montreal's been the weaker team this entire playoffs and it hasn't fucking mattered. So
nope.
I don't know.
Yeah, but don't you think though that at this point, I mean, aren't they going to be or run the risk of being the "we're just happy to be here" thing and kind of?
I think that goes away. Like after a certain like you got to think at least after they beat Vegas, it's like, holy shit, guys, like we're doing it.
Yeah, I think at this point you say, what the hell? We beat the team we weren't supposed to beat in the Leafs. They were supposed to get trucked. We swept Winnipeg, which kind of a toss up really. We then beat the team that we weren't supposed to beat. And hey, guess what? Now we're going up against the team we're not supposed to beat. So like at a certain point, you just, I think this team is playing the right way that one of these Magic type teams has to play, where they're not necessarily lucky. Like, Vegas kind of coughed up a couple to them, but it's not like, oh, they're getting the right bounces, or it's not that, the other team keeps getting injuries. They play a very solid defensive game. They play extremely physical, and they have a really good forecheck. And kind of things just have happened for them that they're where they are. It's not necessarily like this. This isn't like a 2003 Mighty Ducks. It's not like Jay Shiger standing on his head. Carey Price has been good, but not like
he hasn't been a world beater.
No, he hasn't been the reason they moved on. They're a solid hockey group that are just playing really goddamn hard. And I know that's like the old boy hockey thing of like, oh, you just go out there and play with some grit. And it's like, normally that doesn't work. But it's like the epitome of what
it's
old
probably
guy hockey is.
It's probably a good idea that Don Cherry is not a rat, because he would be creaming himself over this.
I mean, like if this Montreal team does beat Tampa, it'll be. I hope there's not the unfortunate side effect where everybody learns the wrong lesson.
Everyone tries to emulate it,
right? And then we get we go back to the 90s and 2000s way of playing the sport.
Well, I don't think we will. Like, okay, I don't. That's like a very NFL style reaction where the NFL is very trend chasey, right? Where one team has success doing something and then everybody tries to copy it. I don't think that's gonna happen if this Habs team wins. The NHL doesn't seem quite as bad when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. Just
both goalies are killing it right now too. I mean, really, because their numbers are almost identical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Carey Price, he's 12-5. 934 save percentage, 2.02 goals against.
Pretty good.
Tampa Bay's goaltender, 12-6, 936 save percentage, 1.99.
And are you afraid of saying his name?
No, I'm reading verbatim from the. It's Andre Vasilevsky. Yes,
there you go. Because it was one of those things where like Carey Price is doing this, and Tampa Bay's goaltender
Joe Smith versus foreign scary man.
His name I don't want to try to pronounce.
Yeah, Andre Vasilevsky. I believe I'm saying that correctly.
That's right. Yeah.
The last time this happened was in 2003. The last time two goaltenders finished a postseason with numbers better than that was 2003 when Marty Brodeur and the New Jersey Devils beat John Sebastian Giguère and the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
But so it's definitely like a matter of two good goalies and two good teams. You know, it's not one thing or the other necessarily. It's a cocktail of success hinging on the goalie.
Yeah, I think Tampa though can really dictate play, and I think Tampa is a highly skilled team, a highly offensive team. But the thing that they've had different a little bit last year and more so this year, they can play that physical game. Like the Islanders really were taking it to them a lot of the time. You know,
except for the time they gave up 8 goals. That was
that was the game you were at, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was fun. It's like, oh, okay, get to see some playoff hockey. It's 5-0 at the end of the second. Fantastic.
Well, when we were doing the show last week, when you were at the game, we'd be talking, and Zach would go 1-0 Lightning, and then we talk for like a minute, and he'd go 2-0 Lightning. Then we're talking again, he goes 3-0 Lightning. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was totally fun to watch. Let me tell you.
Mike finally goes back to hockey, and he gets that. But anyway,
and I get the Islanders shitting the bed. Yeah.
Well, hey, the fun thing about this series too is if you squint, it'll look like Habs Leafs, or it'll look like Panthers Lightning, which were both the first round series this year.
Right.
So this will be a fun one for the visually impaired communities of South Florida and Canada.
Well, the fun thing about it, and here's ultimately why I think Montreal has a chance here is that, and Zach touched on this to a degree, but I think that this team, this Habs team, and I saw this firsthand for the Leafs, is that this Habs team knows exactly what they need to do to slow down, teams that are faster and that are more talented than them, and especially the Leafs and the Lightning. They don't just look alike. They are two teams that are built in similar ways. And the Canadians, when they finally hunkered down they managed to shut the Leafs down. And then, they did the same to Winnipeg, and they did the same to Vegas. So I think that the Canadians have the skill set necessary to really actually do something interesting here. Whether or not they will, who knows? Who knows? But I do think that they are kind of prime. They're in a prime situation, and they have the experience doing it to where they can actually they could actually win this if they if they play the game that they've been playing.
Here you go, Andy. It's showtime.
Let's see. Wait for some clanking here. Just leave your mic.
I'll move my sound shield. How about that?
But yeah, I think the Canadians have been playing the type of hockey that they need to be playing to beat this Lightning team. So we'll see how it goes.
I tell you, I think that probably Tampa wins it in 5 or 6, but as always, I'm rooting for the Canadian team because I want the cup to go back to Canada. And Habs got better uniforms. That's my expert analysis right there. Go Canada, go better jerseys. Best I can do for you.
Yeah, I think it's either Habs in 6 or Tampa in 5. I think if Tampa blows out these first 2 games, then that's curtains, right? But if Montreal can come in here and keep it close, win one of the first 2, then all of a sudden they're not thinking that, hey, we're out of this. And I do wonder, they're trying to negotiate to get more fans in the building in Montreal for the games up there. If they can somehow get a bigger crowd in there in Montreal, those people will be going berserk.
They're playing that 3,500 they have right now sounds like 3 times as many.
They're the cheapest ticket for game 3 available on the market right now is like $12,000.
Wow. Well,
because they're only letting in
the
like
Canadians have been
4,000
waiting.
people.
What, 28 years?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And the
Yeah,
last
28 years. And the thing that I thought was here, Mike, I'm gonna slowly turn the knife, and I'm so very sorry. Since the Leafs last won a playoff series,
Oh no.
Montreal, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, and Ottawa have all made the Cup final.
Wow.
But again, a Canadian team still hasn't won since that 93 Habs team. Which
So
again, if this is the Habs team that does it, it's just wild.
Well, no, I'll take that back. So that means that the Jets and the Leafs are the only teams that. Sorry, Mike. You know I'm with you on this, but so the Jets and the Leafs are the only teams that haven't made the final since the last time the Habs did it.
And if you want to include just making the conference final, then you can throw Winnipeg into that mix too, because Winnipeg went to the conference final.
I gotta be honest, I can't blame Mike for just going off on those fuckers after that. I just can't. That's like I said before. You've earned the right to walk away until they get their heads out of their asses, Mike. Yeah. Simple as that.
Woo! But
right.
It would just. I don't know how I feel about if this was the Canadian team to break the drought, because it's like, come on, they didn't mean to do this.
Was it the 06 Cardinals that won 83 games? That's who these guys are. I mean, not obviously not in the same, like a bunch of guys named Matt, but that, quality wise, I think that's a comparison you could make, is that they're kind of like the 83 Cardinals or the like the Giants, the 97 Giants team that won the Super Bowl that probably had no business doing it.
Well, the thing that
there we go.
No, here it comes. The thing that got it. The trash thing threw off my thought. What was I saying? I don't know.
Oh, we even got the backup beefs this time. How about that? All right.
I completely lost my thought.
I was comparing the Canadians to like the 06 Cardinals and 97 Giants.
I remember now. So, I'm sure if you ask any of these guys in the media, be like, hey, when you guys started this playoff, did you think you had a chance? Or when you guys started the season, it's like, oh yeah, no, we definitely thought, hey, you make the playoffs, and once you get there, anything can happen. I call such bullshit if any of them actually said that. There's no way that this Montreal team thought coming into the year that we're a cup contender.
Oh no.
They thought maybe they could get into the playoffs because of the situation with the divisions. But then once you start the playoffs, it's like, oh yeah, you think this team, as constructed the way it is a cup contending Montreal Canadiens squad. I would call 1,000 pounds of bullshit on that.
Right.
But and that's why it's kind of like, I mean, if this is the team that does it, like, cool. Like, when we think about the great Montreal Canadiens teams, if they win the cup, they'll be mentioned among them, but they certainly would finish 25th in a 25 team tournament.
They'll be mentioned among them as in a team that won the cup, but it would be really tough to put them in the conversation with the great. I mean, my goodness, I'm not a hockey historian, but the Ken Dryden Canadiens, the Rocket. Come on now, you can't throw these guys into that mix. You can't do it.
But I think the one thing that's fun about this Canadiens team is because of the way the divisions got laid out and how they organized the semifinals, which NHL, can we talk about those t-shirts for a second? Semifinal champions. The hell is that? That means you're a finalist. You won a semifinal. That means you were a finalist. Like you could have just. I assume they didn't know what trophies they would give out to which semifinal, and so they couldn't say Campbell Bowl champions or Prince of Wales champions. But I would have preferred if they did that. But because of the way that things broke down, this Habs team was able to win something that no Habs team had ever won before it in the Campbell Bowl.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a neat little hockey history fact of like, now they're one of the what is it, 5 teams, I think, that have won one of each trophy. Yeah. Because the others are Detroit, Chicago, the Islanders, and the Flyers, I believe.
Well, let's talk about the Lightning for a second. When's the last time we had a repeat Stanley Cup champion?
The Penguins a couple years ago.
Yeah, right. God,
Yeah, it was like the 6-16-17 Penguins.
Yeah, but I was just going to say, and maybe it's just me, but those Penguins teams just, I mean, and they won the cup. They did it back in the 90s too. They repeated. They just don't, for some reason, when I think of like the teams that have won a lot of cups, they never come to mind. And you know, they're
the Lightning?
No, the Penguins.
Oh, okay.
You're kind of like not as bad, but like kind of like the Texas Rangers. You go, oh yeah, that's right. You know, Mario.
Well, no, the Penguins have actually won something.
Yeah, they won
because the Penguin Lemieux won just the 2 with the Penguins, right? And then Crosby's now won 3 because he won the 1,
right? And then they did the 2 in a row, right?
And then the 2 in a row,
yeah. But I don't think of them as like a 5 cup winning team, is what I'm saying.
Right, and then before that Penguins team, the last team to do it was the 96-97 Red Wings, or was it 97-98 Red Wings?
Yeah.
But either way, you know, there's the 90s Red Wings was the last team to win it back to back. So it had been some time, and we had you know, the Blackhawks winning 3 in 6 years,
something like that. Yeah.
And the Kings won 2 and 3, and there was plenty of close calls, but it's hard to do. And I think this Lightning's one is kind of interesting in a way too, because people can. It's one of those things where people can point to last year and say doesn't count, was in the bubble, it's bullshit, it did, you know, not a real tournament, whatever. And then they could look at this one and say like, the season was bullshit, so the playoffs don't count. And so in theory, the Lightning could win back-to-back Stanley Cups that people would both point at and be like, hey, you know, these are garbage championships for one reason or another.
Yeah, you could.
I mean, at the end of the day, you know, everyone's got to play by the same rule set,
Right.
and you can only really play who they put in front of you. So
yeah, it's not like they said, okay, Lightning, you get to only play 30 games last year, and everybody else has to play a regular schedule. Then you get to come in. No, come on. I mean, I get it. You know, I understand that it's not under normal circumstances. But are we going to take away the 32s and they won the Super Bowl in the 81 strike season, or when they did it again in 87?
You mean the soccer workforce?
Oh, excuse me, the soccer workforce, right? I forgot we changed their name. Or are you going to take away the titles that like the Yankees won or the Dodgers won in 81 because they only played like 70 games that year? I mean, come on, you know, it's just for the immediate moment, it will seem like bullshit titles, but when we get 10 years down the road, you'll just be like, oh, that's right, yeah. So I think it'll be fine. And 2 in a row is 2 in a row. I don't care how you did it.
No, I mean, I'm happy for a guy like Stamkos, where I thought he was going to be one of those great talents that just was never going to get his rings, and now he might get 2.
If the Lightning don't win this year, then he's always going to have the one that he does is the one that he didn't really participate. So he kind of has to win this year to really Yeah. You want to talk about like bullshit titles? Like nobody's going to hold it against the Lightning, but if Steve Stamkos can't win it this year, and then his only championship is from that one season where he didn't play in the finals, then it's God. I almost would have liked it if when they gave him the trophy he came out in jeans. The fact that he came out like in gear was just bullshit. Yeah.
Kind of like if Barry Bonds had won a World Series when he was still batting, 105 in the playoffs and all that, where he would have gotten the title, but you're like, dude, you didn't do anything to win this.
No, it's even worse for Stamkos because I think he played one shift that entire finals.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
he scored a goal on it, but yeah.
I don't think he appreciably affected the outcome of that series.
Well, he scored a goal. He scored a goal in a
okay, yeah, I think they would have been fine had he.
You don't know.
He scored a goal every shift he played after that, Mike. We just don't know.
Yeah. He could have had 17 finals goals and been the best Conn Smythe winner of all time.
Yeah, if only.
But hey, the other thing that's nice for the Lightning is somehow they were I can't believe that they hadn't been one of these yet, but it was announced today that they will be in a Stadium Series game next year at Nashville. And then the Winter Classic is going to be Minnesota's, which they lost because of COVID.
Right.
So Minnesota will get to host St. Louis. And then the All-Star game will be in Vegas. ESPN's coverage of the NHL starts in 2 weeks when they'll broadcast the expansion draft and the regular draft.
Okay, so first of all, Vegas,
first
of all, Vegas can go fuck itself. I am not particularly happy to see these Canadians in the finals, but you know what? I would rather see them than Vegas. So
yeah,
fuck you, Vegas.
We should touch on that because I saw plenty of Vegas Golden Knights fans and Vegas Golden Knights Twitter account really lamenting the fact that, oh man, sucks for us, we lost. This is
welcome to the real NHL experience, Vegas.
I can't tell you how happy I am that team isn't gonna win. Like and because of the way that they lost this year, I don't think they're doing it next year, and I don't think they're going to do it.
No, because
until they have to restart this whole thing.
The lean times are a coming.
Well, when you get these great cores that you can make a run with, I mean, Andy can attest. I can attest as a Ducks fan that saw it go the other direction. It lasts for 4, maybe 5 years, and then that's it. And you got to do as much as you can with that, or it's gone, and you got to restart the whole thing over. And I think we've hit that point with Vegas because there was something in their eyes at the end of that series that Montreal was trying to let them win. Like in a video game setting, in like a sterile simulation, that Vegas team should have wiped the floor 10 times with Montreal. But it wasn't just like, Montreal played really hard. And all credit to the Canadians. They did play a good defensive game. They blocked a lot of shots. They were going to forecheck. They played exactly how they needed to play to beat a team like that. But once Vegas got punched in the mouth, or punched themselves in the mouth, really, with the Marc-Andre Fleury goal.
That was so. Just to sidebar on that. When they started Marc-Andre Fleury for Game 6, I laughed.
I couldn't believe they switched back to why did they switch? Why did they switch? You just won the game with Robin Leonard, and then you're going back to the goalie that you lost. I don't know what you're doing.
That's why I laughed.
They gave the game away. They gave it up.
That goal that he gave up was, I mean, they weren't similar, but it reminded me of the goal Canada scored in the soccer game. It was just kind of the same thing. Like, fuck.
Yeah. It's just and the fact that the Vegas Golden Knights forwards combined scored, what was it, 3 or 4 goals in that entire series, which was you can't have that. Mark Stone, when without a goal, he's your captain, he's your best player. He's not scoring. Vegas, they had last year when they lost to Dallas, the whole narrative was, oh shit, we're not scoring enough goals. We gotta get more goal scoring in the offseason. And then they come into this year and they're scoring some goals, and then they get to the conference final, and what do you know? They forget how to score goals, and the wheels kind of fall off with their goaltender, and it just things started going wrong for them, and they didn't know how to fix it. And so I think that team is done. And I'm overjoyed to say this on a recorded format. And I hope like hell this doesn't bite me in the ass on the other side of it. But I think this team is done. And they're gonna have they're gonna go for it again with this group they got, because I mean, what the hell else are they supposed to do? And they're still going to be one of the best teams in the division, and they'll make the playoffs, and they'll get a chance to fail all over again. But
yeah, I mean, Colorado,
do it.
A young Colorado team is going to be a year better next year.
A year better, hungrier. Yep.
Well,
you're having the California teams are starting to come back up in the West, or the Pacific, and now you got a new team on the block. The expansion team coming into their division that is going by the same rules that they got, although Vegas does have to participate in the expansion draft, which is, whatever.
Some bullshit.
But
wait, Vegas doesn't have to.
Vegas is exempt. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No.
So you made the Cup final your first year.
Mm-hmm.
The playoffs you've made the playoffs every year since you've been in existence.
Made the conference finals 3 out of the 4 years. Yeah.
And you get to be exempt from the expansion draft?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be like make more sense to make, say, like Columbus exempt from the expansion draft? Or come on. I mean,
well,
really?
the thought when they made the original rules was, that you can't start taking away one player from an organization 4 or 5 years into it. But
sure, yes, you can. Fuck them.
I think there were similar rules when they had like the big round of expansion from 99 to 2000.
Yeah, but who cares about the Thrashers?
Well, but I think like whoever came first was exempt from the Columbus and
Minnesota
draft. Yeah. So,
well, well, I mean, with Vegas, Zach, you're exactly right. They are at the tail end of that window, and also, again, they looked, you could see it in their eyes. They were not. They kind of looked shell shocked or kind of broken. But on top of all of that, this is what we've been saying is going to happen, and it's right around the corner. If not this off season, the next off season. Yeah. This team mortgaged a lot of their potential future to win now.
Yeah, the window's closing.
They sold out hard.
They sold out hard, and now they're going to have to make a lot of tough salary cap decisions. So
hell, there were
lean times are ahead.
There were points late in this season where it was like a 3-game stretch. They had to play with 5 defensemen because they couldn't afford to have somebody else on the roster to like injury, roster constrictions, and a whole bunch of stuff like that. But they had to play shorthanded some nights because they couldn't afford to do it. And they weren't smart enough to hide Nikita Kucherov under their salary cap for an entire season.
And now the Lightning have exposed that loophole, so that's going away.
Yeah, right. But anyway.
Yeah, I think you're. Well, we talked about it back when they had their first run that first year. We're like, the way they're set up, they can't sustain this just because of the money, and not to mention even if you've got guys that are homegrown that become stars,
you got to pay them.
You got to pay them too. I mean, and it's just it's a thing that enjoy it while it lasted. Vegas, I guess, is the easiest way I can say it. It was fun for you, I suppose, and I wonder, did they tweet out again after they lost to Montreal? Does this deserve a banner? Like again, did they do that?
Well,
this is why nobody likes you.
Right. Well, no, they tweet like the day after they lost, they tweeted out just meh with a period.
Oh yeah.
And I quote tweeted that and I said, "No one feels sorry for you."
Nope.
There was not a single hockey fan that feels bad for the Vegas Golden Knights. Oh, they really had their shot. I don't give a damn. Like, how many times I've seen my team do that shit? You don't get to just come in and accept
that's exactly it. Because, like I said when we first started talking about Vegas, like Vegas fans, this is what the NHL is like. Like congratulations, this little bullshit.
Sorry, this one was just a little bit funnier too because who scored a whole bunch of big goals in the series? Well, a guy named Nick Suzuki, which the Canadians got for trading Max Pacioretty to Vegas.
But Vegas fans, this whole thing that you have where it's like, oh, we're gonna just, we're just gonna go to the Stanley Cup Finals in our first season. No, this isn't how hockey is regularly. Welcome to the fucking shit, guy. Like, this is it. This frustration, this heartache. Like, congrats.
Excuse me.
That's 99% of it. Go ahead.
We just moved to the Las Vegas area, and we were under the understanding that our team would be in the Stanley Cup final every year. Is that not correct? Because if that's not correct, we're going to have to look somewhere else. So, yeah. I mean, this has the stink of like, remember when the trivia kind of answer to where like they'll be successful initially big time, and then there's going to be probably 20 years where they're not going to win anything.
It's like, do you guys remember when the Vegas Golden Knights, had that, went to the Stanley Cup Finals that 1 year? Oh, that was wild.
Florida Panthers West, just same old shit.
Well, I mean, there's a very real possibility that they're going to end up as the new San Jose Sharks. I mean that could happen.
Yeah,
They're not there yet.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't even want to give them that title quite yet.
No, the Sharks are at least always in the mix.
Yeah.
Not
That's what I'm saying is, like, they're getting dangerously close to the, oh yeah, good team, but they choke in the playoffs.
No. I that's giving them a lot of credit. This feels very much like an early success followed by a decade of descending into mediocrity and being poor.
You know what it reminds me of a little bit is the Jaguars. Remember the Jaguars are pretty good their first 2 years, and then now look. That's what you're looking at, Vegas fans. That is the road ahead of you. So get used to the idea.
Oh, wouldn't that be beautiful?
Yeah. It's not all wine and roses, man. Trust me.
Yeah, no. Okay, Vegas fans, why don't you take a look at me? I'm a Leafs fan. All right. This is what NHL hockey fandom is all about. All right. I'm broken. I can't even enjoy hockey presently. So this is what it's really. This is the real shit. So get used to this.
I have a question to posit to you guys.
Okay.
Shall we do the bussin' thing, or do you want to talk about the NBA or MLB?
Well, there is one more hockey thing that I don't know if we want to talk about.
Okay.
The
Blackhawks thing? Yeah. Sure.
You guys know what's going on with the Blackhawks?
Nope.
No.
Go ahead, fill in.
So the main thing at stake here is a ex Blackhawks player
at least
filed a lawsuit saying that a former video coach for the team sexually assaulted him and another player during the team's 2010 playoff run to the Cup title. This guy supposedly had some history of sexual misconduct as a hockey coach in the Chicago area for many years leading up to that. Then got his job with the Blackhawks, had this happen. And then when he left the team helped him get a job coaching a youth hockey team.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Where he also subsequently had some sexual misconduct. And of course the team, it's now the year 2021, and this is when the story is coming out from a incident that happened in 2010. So,
well, I'm not going to downplay this at all. I also am not going to pretend to know every single detail of what's happened as far as, but from what I've seen, they just announced today, the Blackhawks, that and I always laugh when people do this, is that they have hired somebody to perform an investigation.
They need an investigation to determine why they helped a kid diddler get a drop of kids.
Now, I mean, to give credit, to give credit to the organization, the Blackhawks, I don't think they're as oily or nasty as maybe some other organizations, but this is obviously a huge black eye at best. Once the results come out of this, but the team of investigators they hired, I think, are the same ones that were involved with the Olympic team in the sex scandal with the one coach for those players. They were
involved in the bankruptcy hearings for that.
Yeah. And I mean, there is some level of stink to it because I think they are based out of Chicago.
Yeah. And the other thing that goes against the Blackhawks here, the players reported the incident to then Blackhawks skills coach Paul Vincent before the 2010 Western Conference Final. Vincent reportedly called a meeting later in the day to share the information with then team president John McDonough, general manager Stan Bowman, senior vice president of hockey operations, and a mental skills coach. Vincent then said he told the executives to report the incident to Chicago police, which never happened.
No. And I mean, McDonough is now with the Panthers. He left, I think, probably 2 years after that. And I wonder how much of it had to do with this, to where it's like, just go before this becomes a thing. But either way, I think the right course of action is, and I imagine this is what the organization will do, is the investigation will occur. There will essentially be a list of sacrificial lambs who will all be fired. There's probably going to be some self-imposed punishments that'll be not enough. The league will then punish them subsequently again. There may be some people arrested. I don't really know. I imagine everything will be settled out of court. Ultimately, is what they
the
want.
league itself will, of course, wash its hands of it, and as they already were doing today.
Yeah.
Because prior to Game 1 of the Cup Finals, there was a State of the League press conference.
Always fun with old Gary.
And he said, "My first reaction is tell me the facts. Once we know what the facts are, we're in a better position to evaluate what may or may not have been done."
You don't say.
Shut up, Gary.
I mean, it's a nothing statement. I mean, there's nothing you can say right now. There's too much speculation and not enough that's actually in a court setting that you can say on the record is or I don't know if I don't know if it's called an affidavit or whatever of the actual lawsuit been published.
I think it has, but again, all the players' names are being kept confidential. I do know that I saw a report where some TSN reporters know who the players are, but because of their code of ethics and whatever, they can't report the names.
It's Partridge Crane is one of the players. It's an alias.
It's an odd one. I mean, I guess you can't make any assumptions about anybody, but a video coach sexually assaulting 2 professional hockey players?
Yeah, it's weird.
I would think that the professional hockey player would then
kick his ass
out of you.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, of all these sports that I feel have a real problem with homophobia and unspoken sexual tension, that's in a hateful, bigoted way, I feel like hockey would be up there with the NFL for that. But apparently, again, I like you said, this is one of those things to where if it occurred with young people or children, it'd be just fucking again, how many times is this going to fucking happen? But at this, it's almost this bizarre twist to where adults with adults, and I mean, if things are consensual, then sure, but apparently it wasn't. And I feel like there's more information and context that needs to be shown, not to discriminate against the person, the player making these accusations, and certainly not to defend the organization. It's just my personal curiosity just to know how this occurred.
Here's what happened to him afterwards. So the Blackhawks never announced to the players that Aldrich had departed the organization or even explained why. He then got a job after the Blackhawks with a high school team.
That's
fucking hell.
Good idea. He then became the Blackhawks got a letter of recommendation for him for that job.
Right. Oh yeah, God.
Then he coached the high school team, became a director of hockey operations at Miami University in Ohio, which also has opened an investigation into him. He was then convicted in 2013 in Michigan of 4th-degree criminal sexual conduct involving a high school student. He was sentenced to 9 months in prison and 5 years probation, which ended in 2019. He's on the Michigan Registry of Sex Offenders.
Going back to the players for a second, though, and how how this could happen with NHL players. If you're a 20-year-old kid, 21, and you've gone from playing for whoever you were playing for in the East Coast Hockey League or the AHL or whatever to the Chicago fucking Blackhawks. Yeah. And I don't know how old this guy was, but there's definitely a what's the word I'm looking for here? But where
a power balance,
balance, right? Where this guy is, regardless of what his job is, he's working for the Chicago Blackhawks, and you're just this rookie. So you know what I mean? So maybe that's got to play a part. I mean, I don't know. I'm just speculating.
One of the names I heard associated was a player that was a veteran at the time, certainly an established, maybe not the most flashy veteran, but certainly a veteran. And I don't want to name drop just in case. I mean, I know there's 5 people listening to this fucking show. Who knows, But I wonder. I thought that I read that there were there was alcohol. There's some sort of substances perhaps involved. I could be completely incorrect, but I thought that I read that was one of the cases.
But again, when we're talking about Andy, when you were saying that the Blackhawks aren't the most oily of organizations, unfortunately, I think the thing that sends this to that next level of awful, the fact that he was with the team, okay, fine, and then they let him go. But then you have this report, and assuming that this reported incident is why you have to let him go, then you write him
Right.
a recommendation to go to a high school team.
You know, I think that ultimately the trail of dead careers is going to be all because of that. And I mean, the player, sure, they'll investigate that thoroughly, but the letter of recommendation, even if it was just some clerk who did it with the Blackhawks letterhead on the paper, I mean, I think that's the way they're probably going to spin it. But it's rough, and I don't. You know, I mean, I'm obviously I'm a huge Blackhawks fan. I think that from a team perspective, I thought that after, you know, when old man Wirtz finally kicked the bucket and they turned the organization around and they had all these things come together and they've won a bunch of cups, like the class of hockey, you know, was kind of the way that they've been treated.
The Blackhawks saved the NHL, Sports Illustrated said. And
now, I don't know. It's disappointing to say the least, but it's also like, you know, I got to, this is not going to be done quickly. This because of the wheels of legality here. This is going to take months, if not maybe a couple of years to resolve. And it's like, how the hell am I supposed to, in full heart, support the organization full-throatedly to succeed? And I mean, again, I think that's a quandary of a lot of people in sports who, you know, there's probably a lot of people in, not to compare one-to-one, but Penn State fans who probably, you know, they look at they're so mad that I shouldn't have to, one guy, you know, just because this guy and some people in the organization fucked up, I shouldn't be, you know, have to revoke my fandom. That it's like, well, you know, maybe you have to evaluate things. Not to say that I would abandon the Blackhawks, but I would really.
You know, I mean, in fairness to the Blackhawks, and God, I hope this is true, but that I hope this doesn't reach Penn State levels of depravity.
No, I mean, no.
The Penn State thing was, you know, that was systemic. It was going on for, what did we figure out? It was like 20, 30 years.
It was fucked.
Shit.
It was absolutely
fucked. And you know what? If that had been Ohio State, I'm sorry, I'm done. I cannot. I mean, I just can't do it.
Yeah.
But you know, when it's, you know, and again, it's everything. I think is a matter of degree. If the Blackhawks have this problem, and you know, yeah, you've got to take a look. But it's not a Penn State like scorched.
No.
Okay,
again,
so
here's the timeline of it. Just to get like, I'll do it real quick, just to kind of set these in order. So it isn't like a Penn State level sort of thing. These two players reported the incident to a skills coach before the 2010 Western Conference Finals. Later that day, there was the meeting where they said, hey, we should report this to police. No, but nothing was ever reported to police, obviously. Blackhawks then go on to win the 2010 Stanley Cup that very same year. And then it says here, the player told ESPN that Aldrich showed up for team photos before the Cup parade and then was never seen by the team again. So it seemed like it happened before the Western Conference Final. They win the Cup, and then they quietly try to shuffle him off under the rug over here while writing him a letter of recommendation
to go
get a high school team.
So I have had my,
and then 3 years later he gets convicted of sexual conduct with a high school student.
So I've had my mic muted the last 5 minutes or so. So that's been, and I did not realize it. So that's been fun. But
well, the floor is yours. Pick up.
No. I mean, there's nothing much I have to say. You know, there's not much I have to say other than, like, again, like, the thing that really is disgusting is the fact that it's like, okay, a dude gets caught sexually abusing, you know, players, and, you know, your reaction as a team is to give him is to help him get a job working with children. Is like what the fuck? You know, like, you know, Andy said they're probably gonna fire some fucking, you know, intern or low level office worker who, you know, it's like, you know, he printed it up on team stationery, and they're gonna fire him, which is unfortunate that, you know, someone who probably didn't do anything wrong is gonna have to.
Yeah,
but like,
it's
inevitable. But like on a deeper level, and the reason why, you know, I'm so sure that's going to happen is because, like, sexual abuse in hockey is really nothing new. Like Theo Fleury, if anyone, follows his career, for example, like, he was a big, big star in the 90s, came up through the junior system in the 80s, and he's got stories about, how he was abused.
Former Blackhawk.
So, Blackhawk, Calgary Flame, those are the two that I remember specifically.
Yeah, Rangers. He was around a little bit. But
yeah, he was around the league. But like, so this is sadly nothing new, and kind of what Greg said. Like, it's like at first you kind of think like, how could this guy have done this to, like, not kids, but men, and then you go, it's like, no, if you're a rookie, I could see how, if you'd feel intimidated enough. But the whole thing, like, again, I just can't get past is like, if the team knew about it, and I could totally see that the team knew about it, and instead of reporting it to the police, tried to, sweep it under the rug, because that is sadly what the culture is in hockey when it comes to this sort of thing. But then you got to think, like, if you're going to, like, sweep it under the rug and just, shuffle him out of the organization, like, when he comes asking for a letter of recommendation for a high school team, how do you even, like, again, and I know the team's going to blame someone. It's like, oh, nobody up high knew, it was some office temp or whatever, no, bullshit. People knew, and they did it because they just didn't give it shit, and that is really what is tragic. And I know, like, this doesn't seem to be like a Penn State situation in terms of the degree of the abuse, but, like, again, the fact that someone was given the means to work with children after this tells me, like, I'm not saying, like, destroy the Blackhawks as a team or anything like that, but, like,
has got a role.
The front office needs to be purged, is what I'm getting at.
There needs to be accountability from somebody, is what you're saying.
Find out who knew what, when, and fire those people. I mean, there's
exactly.
Really, you can't. You have to have some blood. You can't just sit here and be like, "Oh, well, Pimply Joe Steve, who was filing faxes, accidentally sent that out." So we've
he accidentally wrote a pedophile. As you do.
Two things Mike brought up about this, not being a surprise in hockey. I remember back. This was like in the mid '90s. There was a kid that played for the Bruins. I can't remember his name to save the life of me, but he came out and said that he'd been being abused by one of his junior coaches for, like, I mean, it was really bad. I remember talking about it on my old show, and I can't remember his name anymore, but he played for the Bruins for a little while, and it was a horrible thing. So yeah, this is nothing new, and fuck if I didn't forget what I was going to say after that. I don't understand, like, with Penn State, I think we talked about this back when it happened, and with the Blackhawks now, why do you try to hide this shit? Do the right thing. Like, if Penn State had come out when they first got reports of Sandusky and said, we're cutting this guy loose and we're having the police investigate.
Well, it's the same reason as to why this is a problem in hockey. Hockey, football, doesn't matter. It's the same kind of, like, sports culture, bullshit where it
keep it in house. We'll deal
with
it.
The coach,
and of course, because and we've said this before, that it takes a special type of idiot to be a football coach. I think it takes a special type of idiot to be a coach. Period.
Yeah.
And you get these guys who their whole life is coaching. Everything they do is coaching, and they get they hear that the assistant coach that they've worked with for years, or even like the video guy who they've worked for years is doing this, and in their fucked up sense of priorities, they don't go, holy shit, we need to do something. They go, oh well, that's how can I help him deal with this?
How do I save the culture? How do I save the team?
Exactly.
What's right? Yeah,
exactly.
Which is damage control all the way down, and it's the fetishization of sport in America, especially where
Canada too. Like a lot of this, like, the reason why I said this, like, doesn't surprise me in hockey is, like, this has been a problem in the Canadian, in the Canadian system for a while. I'm honestly surprised that it doesn't seem to be as prevalent in the juniors as it is. but who the hell knows? That could just be a dam that's waiting to burst.
And I mean, if it's not the sexual abuse, it's physical abuse.
Yes,
and certainly mental abuse.
Yeah.
God,
Babcock,
Mike Babcock, right? Who?
Yeah, he made Mitch. How do you make Mitch Marner cry? Like, I don't.
It still amazes me that NBC gave him a job after that, but
yeah,
NBC is done in a week and a half with their hockey coverage. So goodbye to
Sheldon Kennedy was the guy's name I was trying to think of, the player from the 90s.
I have some relatively breaking news also.
Okay, yeah.
It's hockey related, so it'll be brief. But as we knew, it has been announced that the NHL will continue with logos on the helmets, as we all expected.
Ads on the helmets.
Ads on the helmets. Yeah, sorry. And the jerseys will have no ads, though. They will.
The thing that makes me, nervous about this is that I think Bettman's wording was there's going to be no ads for the 2022 season.
Yes, say that.
I will say that with the Canadiens, as a motorcycle rider, the bell on their helmets, it's like, well, it's just a logo, Bell helmets. So I'm fine with it. It's not the right logo, but I can use that in my mind and go, it's not really, it's just a Bell helmet, like a motorcycle helmet.
I just, for me, like, everybody knew this was happening. Like, anyone who said, oh, it's only going to be a temporary thing because of the pandemic, like, bullshit, you all knew, and now, but again, when Bettman said, like, oh, this is going to be a, this is for, there's not going to be ads on the jerseys for the 2022 season. That tells me in the way, in Gary Bettman lawyer speak, that they're coming in 2023.
I didn't say 2023. I said 2022. Should we get to
the thing? Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so
we want to talk a little. We'll do this and we'll do a little NBA and then we can wrap it up.
Sure, that sounds fine.
All right.
Okay, let me prepare my first up for busting big eggs.
Andy's, of course, so now his internet starts breaking up and all that.
No, you're very robot-y.
You're very, yeah. Let me see. What can we do? Try it now, Andy. See if we just we're overwhelming the system. Is anybody still there?
Hello.
Okay. Zach, you there? Did we lose those two? How in the fuck do we manage that? Andy. Zach?
Andy? Sorry, I had to answer a phone call.
Oh, all right. We thought we lost both of you at the same time. Andy, are you there?
Oh, the trash can took me out.
Andy?
Yeah, Andy was going full robo, Greg.
Yeah, I know.
Andy's gone.
I have you back. If you guys,
you know what? He just got yeeted out of here because his internet is not bussing.
Device is not connected. Oh, there he goes. Let's try him now. Are we better? Andy?
No, and Andy is yeeted.
Oh, here, we'll give him
he's not bussing.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Are you back?
Sign of life.
What's going on?
Still.
Yeah, you're a little jumbly there, bud.
Me?
Yeah. You.
Yeah, you're very robot-y.
And he's gone. Cool.
So the NBA guys.
Well, anyway, I think Bart. Oh, he's going to reboot. All right, we'll have him back in a minute here, folks.
Yeah, we'll talk about the NBA until we can close out on Yeaton and Bussin.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay.
I think the Clippers are going to.
We're one away, boys. One away from justice.
I don't want to say for sure because 3-1, anything can happen. We've seen it, but
yeah.
They're clippering, man. They're clippering.
I was a bit. I was getting nervous. The Suns went up 2-0, and it's like the Clippers have come back from those before. They pulled it within 2-1, and then god damn that game 4 was ugly as hell.
Ugly as hell, but Phoenix got it done. Like that, they needed to win that. If this went to 2-2, then I'm really sweating bullets. Because then it's like, oh, the Clippers were doing like, hey, we did what we did last time. Now let's go win the series again. I just feel like, oh no.
What about the dunk in game 2? That was pretty fucking awesome.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
really enjoyed that one. Yeah, I just
I think I saw something for game 2 where it was like someone I think it was Red Wolf on the CCSLC forums was like, I came here to see I came here to see game-winning alley oops and people choking at the free throw line. So this was the greatest game ever because Kawhi's out.
Yep.
But
officially a strained knee, but I have a feeling that'll be like a torn ligament when.
But Kawhi's out. But like I gotta just laugh at Paul George because
playoff B.
I mean, which is kind of, and maybe I'm just a bit of a bitter Raptors fan. Maybe I'm big enough to admit that, but like. This is the guy, Kawhi. This is the guy who you were like. It's like you tried to force Toronto to trade for, and you went to the Clippers to play with. It's like, he
didn't want to be with the Lakers.
You could have been alongside LeBron and AD, and
my God, what a team that would have been!
And instead you're going. Instead, you're going, no, I want to be with Paul George. Like,
I want to make my own path with the Los Angeles Clippers.
With the Los Angeles Clippers and playoff Paul.
Yeah. I got to be honest, man. I felt bad for that poor bastard on Twitter after he missed those 2 free throws. They were fucking brutal to him. But hey, you know what?
He deserves it.
He deserves it. Yeah.
This stupid bastard deserves it. Look, there's been controversy in the city of Los Angeles over the last few days. Because there are some writers and Clippers coach Ty Lue that are like, oh, why are all the Lakers fans rooting against the Clippers? We should be united together, rooting on the city. And it's like, shut the hell up. You guys have been punching up at us for decades. And especially you put a little step ladder to try and swing a little bit closer the last 2 years, 3 years with the we play under streetlights, not spotlights. This
actually
is LA our way.
You play in the exact same arena the Lakers do, so you play under the exact same lights. Jackasses.
We play gritty. Look at our hardcore jerseys. We're the core of Los Angeles. And so you expect the Laker fan that you've been directly marketing against and trying to actually antagonize to get behind you with some show of town unity? Screw you and your entire goddamn franchise.
Well, no, especially after last season, right? Where last season is where the Clippers did all of that shit, and people, and the Clippers were like acting like a showdown of the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals was a foregone conclusion, and then they blew a 3-1 lead in the second round to the Denver goddamn Nuggets. and it's like I don't know. No, Zach, you're completely justified. Fuck these guys.
Like Bill Plaschke, who I'm sure you guys might have heard of. Like
I've heard of him, yeah, for sure.
He's like the lead columnist at the LA Times, and he's like, I just don't understand why all the Laker fans are so. Why do they hate the Clippers so much? And I've explained this to a couple people. I think we talked about it a little bit, but again, like if this was the Lob City Clippers, I would be okay with it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the fact of what they've tried to do specifically over the last like 3 or 4 years with the marketing and the jerseys and the attitude and the covering up the banners and whatever else. And it's like, you don't get to be our friends anymore. We're not like just sharing the same gym. We're like, you're not our buddies down the hall. You are an antagonistic roommate. You're trying to get out of here and you're yelling at us about the rent. Like, fine, go build your own goddamn building. Get out of here. We don't want you anymore.
But to kind of go on to that, like, are they really gonna how's that arena gonna work? Because if they don't do it this year, like, again,
we've invested a lot.
We talked about this with Vegas, but the Clippers are another team that they're gonna have a lot of dues to pay.
They don't have any draft picks.
They gave every draft pick they had until like 2030 to the Thunder.
Right, to get playoff B.
To get Paul, who can't hit free throws.
God, and you know what? Like, as bad as those black uniforms are with the Los Angeles on the front, those gray ones they wore in Game 4, ugh.
Everything about this team is bad, and oh god.
Andy back.
Hello, Andy.
Hi, you guys hear me?
Oh,
Yeah.
robot me a bit.
Still, seriously?
No, it's better.
It's better, but you're still a little electronic, yeah.
I have no idea what's been going on. My network basically died for a hot minute. So yeah, that's cool. Love this live shit. So do you want to? Shall we try to chance?
Yeah,
we are.
Let's strike while the iron is hot. Let's do some eating and bussing.
Yeah, right. we can save our laughing at the Clippers for later.
Oh yeah,
I mean we've done it plenty of times over the last few months, and we'll probably be able to do it again next week. So
okay. So I'm sharing now, Greg, if you want to clip it over there. So this is the first one. These are 1920s mannequins.
Oh,
that's a big yeet.
That's a yeet. That's
for sure.
That looks
spooky as fuck, man. Come on.
That looks like it's something from the Conjuring movies, and
that's a Hail Mary yeet. No,
is that actually a mannequin? Seriously?
Yeah.
That's the spookiest looking fucking mannequin I've ever seen in my life. Whoa! Wow!
Wait, what? The fuck is that?
Whoa! It's that the actor guy that's in. Oh, I forget his name. He was
John Slattery.
No.
Oh, he's yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Right, exactly. I can't think of his name. He's one of those guys. Like, oh, it's that guy. Wow, those are mannequins.
I much prefer the featureless and headless mannequins of today.
For sure.
Yeah.
What are these made out of?
I'm not sure. I don't have. I'm assuming they're wood. Yeah, I don't have.
Maybe wax. I bet your wax would be a little easier to work with. But yeah, no, that's a big yeet. Fuck that. Get that out of there.
All right, next one is the fifth ocean. We have a fifth ocean now, the Southern Ocean.
What? When did this happen?
Just recently.
Windows.
No, technically, I've seen it on a map before. I know.
Is this like when they reclassified Pluto? Because I'm still mad about that.
Did you see? Pluto, Mike? They just showed a picture of it. That's a fucking planet. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, no. Pluto got a fucking raw deal.
Yep.
I haven't forgiven them for it, and I will not rest until Pluto's status as a proper planet is restored.
Yeah, and you know who's behind is that fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson. That guy, he's a big proponent of that. It's like, dude, you got to back away from Pluto. I'm with you on all the other stuff, but you got to leave Pluto alone. All right, is the new ocean?
I've seen this on a map before. Yeah, it's the water around Antarctica they consider the Southern Ocean.
Okay.
You know what? I'm going to say if you can have an Arctic Ocean, you can have. They should call it the Antarctic Ocean. Now we're talking.
Well, no.
Yeah, I'm with no. We've had these 5 or however many oceans we hit. What, Indian, Pacific, Atlantic, Arctic.
Yeah, the 7 seas.
Yeah, we've had those for a very long time. I'm a traditionalist, so no new oceans.
Okay.
I don't like change, so I'm very much against this.
Right.
I don't know if this is a full-on yeet. Is it a big yikes?
I'd say big yikes.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a big yikes because maybe this thing gets bigger. And
yeah.
As it melts.
I mean, no. I mean, if Antarctica just melts completely, then the ocean there won't be a Southern Ocean anymore. And
actually, the North Pole that can actually melt. That's all ice. Antarctica, there's actually a landmass under there.
I wonder how big it is, like compared to the.
I don't know. Well, the whole thing's flat anyway, so it doesn't matter.
By the way, I've looked up more of these 1920s mannequins, and one, yes, they are wax. And okay. 2, they're gross, man.
They're fucked up. I'm sorry. That's just, were they trying to freak people out back then? Like,
yeah, hey, the female, like most of the ones I'm seeing now are the female versions, and they're not great.
Wow.
All right. Like blank-eyed stares that I just don't want to be involved with.
No, like the headless, just put fucking a shirt on a thing and let's be done with it. No faces. No, where I go, wow, it looks like my girlfriend's dad, and that dude looks like an actor. None of that shit. No, that's out of the question.
Here we have a 2002 computer lab. Boston Yeater, big yikes.
Where is it?
Where is it?
I'm still seeing your desktop. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we still got the Windows logo there.
Okay.
Yeah, it took a minute for the map to show up.
Yeah.
Before, too.
Okay.
So.
I reshared, so let's see if it shows up again. There you go. Does that work?
Every show's like the first one.
We're
No?
loading. We're
Seriously?
waiting for it.
Over the man.
Oh, black screen.
Jesus
And
Christ.
Oh, the 2002 computer lab looks like it needs to turn the lights on. Would be my first assessment.
oh, Andy.
Okay. Listen.
This is fine. It's like finally, it's not me for once. I'm okay.
I'm pulling 200 down. So like my like speed should be.
Yeah, I don't understand it. It's just everybody else is fine, but you're just having some issues.
Right.
Let's try it one more time. Here we go.
All right. Still nothing. I see it on on the stream. It looks fine.
Yeah, we are all seeing a black screen.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, we can try this again next week or something. Clearly, something's off.
Yeah, hang on to him for next week for sure.
Yeah, that's fine. I can
you go,
supplement
folks.
with what we've had.
What does Dennis call it? Hello, fellow kids, or something.
Hello,
like that?
fellow kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Greetings, fellow
this week
kids.
by Lucky Strike and bad internet.
Yeah.
Whatever,
right.
man.
Anyway, do you think that the Clippers have any chance of getting out of tonight?
No.
I think Phoenix at home.
Where is the game? Is it in Phoenix or
in Phoenix? Yeah.
Yeah, it's done. It's over.
I
they can do the most Clipper thing they could do, which is get to the Western Conference Finals finally and blow it. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, they won one game.
I was hoping for a sweep so we could still say that they hadn't won a game past the second round, but I'm also of the opinion that just generally fuck the Clippers.
Yeah, no, that's a correct opinion.
And again, maybe I'm just a bitter Raptors fan, but Kawhi, come back, please. We loved you. But yeah.
Go ahead. I was just going to say now with them finally making to the Western Conference Finals, they're finally here, and they're going to probably lose 4-1. Is that the most Clippers thing they could have done? Do you think at this point?
No, I mean, no, really. The most Clippers thing they could have done is the most Clippers thing that they could still do: force it all the way to Game 7 and then
lose.
Lose by 30 or something like that.
But we are definitely in Clippers territory here, though, right? I mean, this is most definitely a very Clipper-like thing, if not the most Clipper-like thing. It's still a very Clipper-like thing.
Yeah, I think when it comes to most Clipper-like thing, number one would have been a sweep. Number two would be force Game 7 and lose by 30. Or no, I think maybe the second one would be up 3-0 and lose.
Yeah.
Well, no. Another great Clippering would be lose by 30 in Game 7 in a game you're leading by 20 at half.
Yeah. Pull Atlanta Falcons.
I mean, pull an Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Atlanta. Like the fact that they've made it this far is incredible for a team like them. But when Milwaukee hits, they're just
they had that great Game 1 where it's like, holy shit, they might make a series of this, and then Milwaukee just went no.
Yeah.
No.
Still a great run for the Hawks this year.
Yeah. I mean,
Atlanta fan, this is about as good as it's going to get for you, so enjoy it.
Yeah. But I don't know.
I mean, you lost to Milwaukee in blue jerseys,
Yeah, well, Milwaukee needs to get that jersey situation under control, guys. Go back to your classic look, please.
Go back
at
to
least the Hawks were wearing their throwbacks. At points during the playoffs, the Hawks were wearing their MLK jerseys at home, which I'm glad that they're not wearing against Milwaukee, because I was like,
yeah, that'd actually be kind of hilarious if they did that.
If they wore their MLK jerseys against the Milwaukee's MKE jerseys, and we'd be like, what team is what?
Especially because I believe the Hawks MLK jerseys aren't even in team colors.
No, they're black and gold.
Right.
You know what I think a real tragedy of these playoffs has been is that the Thunder didn't make it. We didn't get to see the Oklahoma City bombing jerseys. That would have been something.
God, imagine the Oklahoma City bombing jerseys in a series against the Lakers. The Clippers fake Compton jerseys.
Right. It's just, come on, Oklahoma City, get it. Well, they've got they were supposed to have.
Well, they have all the Clippers draft picks for the next 10 years or something. So they'll get back.
Didn't they have a shot to have 2 top 5 picks and ended up they got the number 6 pick? Like, anyway, but let's not go down the Thunder road here.
Yeah, the Thunder will be fine. They have all of the pick. They have all the Clippers picks. So
I think at this point I'm all team Suns in terms of like winning the title. Like I don't, if Milwaukee wins, whatever. But I think if I had to pick, I'd want the Suns to do it at this point.
I'm with you on that. I still have some residual Sun love from the Charles Barkley era jerseys and Steve Nash.
Yeah.
So
here's the other thing that makes this a great Clippering, because it just dawned on me. Chris Paul spent how many years trying to get the Clippers to finally get over the edge?
Right.
And now that the Clippers are finally in the position, they're going to lose to Chris Paul. That's good. That's good.
Like I said, it might. What they're doing now is a top 5 Clipper moment. Definitely not the Clip. I think Zach, you were right. Or was it Mike? One of you two that said the most Clipper thing they could do would be to be up 3-0 and lose the series. That would have been the most Clipper like.
Yeah, that was Zach.
That would have been it.
No, I think it would have been actually to just get swept, because then you'd still have that hanging over their head. It's like, well, you made it past the second round, but you still haven't won the game past the second round.
Getting swept would have been 1. Being up 3-0 and then reverse sweep would be 2. And I don't want them to go to Game 7, so I'm not really willing to entertain any of the other Clippering things. But winning 1 game is good too.
I think if they go out,
they can hang a banner.
Western Conference finalist,
Western Conference Finals game winner,
or they can pull an NHL. Let's say NBA semifinalist, NBA quarterfinal champion,
1 game winner. I love that. That's good. That would be.
They need to celebrate something. So let them have what little can.
But that's the thing, Andy. They have a division title that they could hang up, and they
refuse to hang up their division championship banner because they have a complex.
Right, because they have to hang it next to the Lakers shit.
Well, once they get that new arena, that fucker will go up, and you know it.
Well, okay. So that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to get back to. That's why I wanted to get back to this arena, because if this arena gets built, right, it'll be built in a few years. But they put plans for that out at like the height of their current era, where they were hyping themselves up. They got Kawhi and Paul George. They started the obnoxious ad campaign against the Lakers, and now it's what happens if what looks like is likely to happen happens. They lose against the Suns. Eventually, I believe I know Kawhi's contract's coming up. If not at the end of this season, then very soon. So what happens if by the time this stadium gets built, this arena gets built, they still haven't won anything? Kawhi gets out of town, then you're still back. You're back to being the sad ass sorry Clippers, and you have nothing to show for it. And you're going to try to fill some new mega arena with that reputation in the same town as the Lakers? No.
Yeah.
Kawhi has 1 more year left on his deal.
He only signed for what, 2, right? Or was it 3?
He signed for 3.
Yeah. No, it's
so he gets next year where he's making $36 million.
Well, good
for him, I wish $36 million for the amount of work he's currently putting in. Good for him.
I did like the Clippers made like some big play in the last game, and then they cut to Kawhi Leonard in the box, and he's just like sitting up there watching like kind of blankly, and the announcer was like, "And Kawhi Leonard goes wild."
Well said.
Well, Andy mentioned like they have so little to celebrate. Move back to Buffalo. Bring back the Braves uniforms.
Yeah, man,
those are cool.
Yeah,
I like the Braves. I like the Buffalo Braves uniforms. They should, that's. And you know what? It's real. Unlike the Compton look, which is them desperately trying to create a history for themselves that they never had.
What does it say about this team that one of their throwbacks uniform, which is basically just powder blue with white normal block lettering on it, is better than their custom made? We're going to go for streetlights over spotlights jerseys. I mean, that just really, to me, says it all. Tampa Bay's up 1-0 in the first, fellas. And
yep.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So, but yeah, as far as the like, it's going to be Milwaukee. Well, I don't know. We don't know for sure yet. What's that? Is that 3-1-2 or is that still
2-1 Milwaukee?
2-1 Milwaukee. Yeah. See, I you guys are talking about the Suns. I have a little bit of like, when I was a kid, I loved the Bucks because Kareem played for them. So I got a little bit of a connection there. So I think if the Bucks and the Suns, I think it'd be great just to have those two teams in it would be awesome. And whoever wins, I'm going to be happy with. So I don't.
I mean, I'm honestly happy with whoever comes out of the East. These are they're two teams that haven't had much success, so it's hard not to root for them. And I just want to people to appreciate, like, so look at the last 3 Eastern Conference champions since LeBron got out of the conference. You've had the Raptors. Then you had the Heat, who were on that who were a 6th seed,
right?
And then either the Milwaukee Bucks or the Atlanta Hawks. So, the East has kind of been wide open. Like, since LeBron left, it's been, we've had some unlikely Eastern Conference champions. You
want to really hear something with the Hawks?
The
last time they made the finals, I wasn't born yet.
Yeah, it was they were still in St. Louis. They're the
so
the St. Louis Hawks, which they still have a banner for, by the way, that they hang in Atlanta. Good for them.
That's how long it's been since I wasn't even born yet. And that, how old I am. So yeah, that's going back a ways. But yeah, so I'm happy with anybody, that as long as the Clippers go home tonight, I'm fine with whoever wins at that point forward.
Thankfully, I'm sure you guys talked about this. Did you guys talk about this? When did it happen? The Nets lost
last week. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The Nets. That was so good to see. Durant's airball in overtime.
He was gassed.
He was gassed. I know, but still.
That
either way.
I don't know, man. He just.
I can't wait for him to lead us to glory in the Olympics.
Do we want to get into the Jalen Rose, Kevin Love thing or not? Because I got to be honest. Okay, we'll save it. I was going to say, because I got to be honest, I kind of agree with Jalen Rose on this one. But
Kevin Love wasn't good enough to deserve an Olympics.
No, sorry, he just wasn't.
Look up for next week. By the way, think about what Scottie Pippen. He's made the headlines again.
Oh, I saw that. Wow.
Well, oh God, please don't tell me Scottie Pippen did something stupid.
Well, he said he accused
some controversial stuff. I won't say it's stupid, but it's definitely going to get people talking. I'll put it that way.
He basically accused the coach of whose name escapes me.
Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson. I was going to say Phil Collins. He accused Phil Jackson of being racist because he gave Tony Kukoc the game-winning shot opportunity in their yesteryear. So, among other things. So
that's okay. Okay, Scotty.
Did it not work, Scotty?
I watched the clip. Part of the clip from Dan Patrick's show today. It was. Look, I love Scottie Pippen, but man, it was uncomfortable. It's like, dude, I just don't know that I can buy your argument. I'm not saying you're wrong, because I wasn't there. I don't know, but it's going to be controversial. I know, there's not enough out there right now to know really which way to go on it, but it was, we'll talk about it next week. Yeah. See you, Andy.
But I don't know. That's better than what John Stockton said, which that one was unfortunate.
Boy,
what did he say?
You didn't
remember the vaccination tweets, the documentary?
I want to watch that documentary. I really do.
John Stockton, coming out as an anti-vax, which is a shame because I really liked those Jazz teams in the late 90s. So
we talked about it last week when you were here, Mike. If you don't want to get the shot, I'm fine with that. It's up to you. It's your choice. I just need you to come up with a better reason that it's got a microchip in it, or it's going to make me glow in the dark, or the nonsense. If you want to say, look, I've calculated the risk versus the reward and blah, 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 that I can respect. But when you're just talking out your ass, I'm sorry, I got to check out. That's where I stand on it. But I got to watch that documentary though. It looked hilarious. I'm sorry. It's just dead. But anyway, anything else, fellas, or should we wrap it up?
I got nothing.
All right. Then
Go Suns.
Yeah.
Go Suns, and you know what? Go Habs. Go.
Yeah. Go Canada. Go good jerseys. Go Habs. I'm with that. I got a feeling by next week we're going to beat. Well, they can't win the entire series this week, right? Or can they? Can it be over by Monday?
I don't think so.
All right.
No,
Okay.
because that's right, because they're not playing any games on Saturday or Sunday because of 4th of July and all that.
Oh, all right. Well, then we'll
game 4 will be on during the podcast next week.
We will. Oh, that's it. Well, yeah. Okay, because tonight's 1. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay.
Yeah. Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up, folks. We will see you all next week, hopefully without the internet issues. And until then, follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports. Subscribe via Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and the YouTubes, and wherever fine podcasting is sold. We will see you next time.
Adios.
Latest.